And I'm back. Wow, 2 streams in a row, in a single day. That, I think I haven't done that before. Or maybe I have and it's been a long time, but regardless though, I, decided that instead of just... Well, since I have the chance to do so, I might as well do it. So, here I am. Welcome to the stream. My name is Cyclemental, and I hope you're having a good day. Going back to Sands of Time, and I got the box art this time on the overlay for the stream, so there's that. But let's get into it. So in the previous stream, I got a little stuck on one of the first few puzzles in the game, but that's alright. Also, I gotta ask, in case if anyone wants to answer this, you ever had the feeling, the urge anyways, to cry, but for some reason it feels like the tears are stuck in your eyes? That's the best way I can explain the feeling I've got right now, or I've had all day. It's weird. Oops. Camera's janky.
Oh, thank God! I was afraid you were one of them! Can you help me activate the Azad defense system? It'll take both of us to do it! I'll reset the axles for you! The man who's normally in charge of this got... Never mind! Ride the platform down to the bottom, then use those 2 cranks to bring it back up! You see those 4 axles? You'll need to pick them up one by one until you've got all 4. Then, bring them up to the top together! Make sure you pick them up in the right order!
So if I remember correctly, it's this one first.
That's it! You've got the first axle! Now, pick up the other 3!
I swear I do not remember this guy shouting like this.
Remember, pay attention to the grooves!
Honestly, I kind of wish he dies in the next cutscene or something, just for that.
That's it! One crank turns the platform! The other one raises and lowers it!
See, they both have to raise up at the same time. I don't think this will work. No, because it's not the same thing. Hold on. Can I drop it? I cannot. Okay, let's see what happens if I just raise it. Now I should be able to rotate it. And then lower it back down.
That's 2!
Raise both up. And then rotate both. And raise both again. Yet again. Oh. I think I messed up. Hold on. No.
Not yet! You need to pick up all 4 axles, then bring them up to the top.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I see. Okay, I gotta get the one above it anyways. First, and then grab the last one underneath the half moon.
Just one more!
So rotate. Lower back down. No.
That's 4! Now, bring them up to the top and line them up with their gears!
And rotate them. Once more. And then raise them up again.
That's it! I knew you could do it! Now, there's one last step. Do you see that platform? Throw your lever, and I'll throw mine.
What manner of machine is this?
I told you, it's the palace's defense system. Stop wasting time. Throw your lever. Ha! We did it! Serve those accursed demons right! Oh, by God, they'll rue the day they ever dared attack the Palace of Azad!
Okay. Whoever did the voice of that guy, I hope he got paid very well. He was really being flamboyant with his delivery.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time. Oh no. listen to that madman.
Or we could just do that.
The palace's defenses had a twisted logic of their own. They could be circumvented by using the strategically placed switches, which I soon learned to recognize. Yet it was hard to escape the feeling that I had made a terrible mistake by setting in motion such a deadly system of traps, which seemed in truth more likely to claim my life than that of an invader that was not flesh and blood.
Did I just go backwards? Did I? Oh, right. No, I didn't. Okay. Oh.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Let's see what's up here. Oops. Should have did this instead. There we go.
Strange. I feel as if I've been here before. I have been here before. I feel stronger than ever.
That's pretty much how I feel after drinking my monster. Can of monster. Oh, hold on.
Can you hear me? Oh!
Seriously? No. Okay.
Help me!
Yeah, blue uniformed once won't allow me to flip over them.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I know what it is to lose a father.
That was not my father.
What are you doing? Stop!
Done. I'll start the story from here this time.
I'm not sure what's going on, why the audio cut out. Damn. I can't skip the cutscene either, so.
Do you wish me to leave before finishing my story?
Yeah, let me see if I could load back. Wow, okay. Stripe just did not want to play that audio for some reason.
Wait!
Let me see if I what this does. See if that fixes anything. Stay hydrated and whatnot.
And you were worried about me. I'll cover you.
Please don't. You're liable to hit me.
I don't understand. Why is the audio mixing vary? You hear that? Audio just keeps changing volume.
Now what? What are you? Stop! Oh no.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Please, not again. Are you all right? Long enough. What if the sand creatures came back?
They won't. Not here anyway.
What are you?
Sand. I'll take it where I can get it.
To open it is on the other side.
Hold on, let me try to fix the other issues going on. I was hoping this wouldn't be a problem. Let me see if we can turn that off. See what that'll do.
Are you all right?
Stay there! I'll try to find a way in! She tried to steal my dagger after I saved... She tried to steal my dagger after I saved her life. She would have left me there to die. And here I am, risking my life for her again. And why? Good question.
Because you're a simp.
Here I am.
camera is just also wonky as well, but I think that's just because the game was never meant to be played at the high resolution I have it on. I think the same goes for the frame rate as well. The game's audio and the in-game cutscenes anyways don't render very well or play very well because of the high frame rate. Okay.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
I was playing Them's Fine Herds for a bit before I started the stream. I don't know if I brought this up earlier, but whatever. And it seems like the connection is a lot better. Either because I tweaked the settings a bit as far as the frame rate delay. GGEO or whatever it's called. I set that to 0 or 1. Now the matches just pretty much play flawlessly. But I think it might also have to do with the fact that there are a lot less lobbies, pixel lobbies online, for some reason. What's even weirder is that those pixel lobbies don't show the ping either, like it used to. And somehow I'm getting flawless connection. Let's see what's in that doorway over there. Flawless connection. About like 30 to 40 ping. And a server, pixel lobby server in Europe, Western Europe. A Western Europe server, and I'm getting pretty much flawless connection. So that's impressive. I'm not going to complain about it anyways, because even though there are less lobbies, honestly, having more lobbies doesn't really make much sense because it just fragments the number of players within servers. The way I see it is, the more people that enter into a server, or populate a server, the more likelihood that you'll be able to find matches against other players and get to talk to people too. It can be quite annoying to have to server hop just to essentially play a match. What? Okay. The game said no. Oh, I see. I gotta be fast. There we go.
I'm down here. There you are.
By the way, it is completely possible to kill Farah if she's near you
Let's try not to get separated again, shall we?
by attacking her, of course.
It's so quiet out there. It's terrible. But also beautiful.
Maybe to you.
Look!
You're a skinny little thing.
Indeed she is.
What is this place?
We'll need to find a way down to the bottom.
What else? So, if you're not in the know, Them's Fine Hurts just got an update recently where level 3 super combos have been added to the game, which I was expecting.
I can't do that.
Stay there!
So it's great to see it finally in the game.
I can reach this one.
On the games, in the game itself, though,
I'll just wait here then. Shall I?
sure, Mid 6 should be releasing more updates sometime soon. May even look like we might get more chapters in story mode. I can't hear you.
Are you all right? I heard strange noises.
No permanent damage, thank you.
There's another lever in that corner. Do you think you can reach it? I've got it. Your turn now. Here I am. Now pull the lever.
I'll check tomorrow morning to see if anybody is playing online. And Them's Fine Hurts, but if not, then I'll just continue streaming this game.
I can reach this one. Your turn now.
Stay there!
Oh yeah, the game warned me about this, or not the game, the mod that I was using. Alright, hold on. Can I not use it? No, apparently not. Might just have to do this with the mouse and keyboard. Right click and R. Okay, hold on. Put this down and let me try. I call it power tanks. Okay. And Warrior Within and The Two Thrones, the sequels to this title. Destroying objects in an environment does reveal amounts of sand that the prince can collect to refill his sand gauges, or whatever they're called. But in this game, it seems like that's not the case. So, whoops. Okay. Such force. There should be sound of him slamming the box, scraping against the stone floor, but for some reason there's no audio. To be fair though, I had the same audio issues when I was playing this game on my old laptop. My old HP Pavilion laptop. Sorry, no, not Pavilion. Notebook. I think it was a 2000 model. But anyways, the audio issues were happening there too. So I think it's just the port itself that's the issue. I mean, you just saw something that shouldn't be happening. Thankfully, the sequels don't have this problem. It just seems to be the first game that has this problem, or rather, the Sands of Time.
Oh no, please be careful.
Okay. speaking of visions and dreams and all that,
I'll start the story from here next time.
I'm all right.
Stop doing that.
okay. I've had dreams when I was younger that showed me locations that I would actually go into in the near future. And one of those times happened to be back when I was in 5th grade. And before I moved, gotta be faster. And enrolled into a new middle school, or not new middle school, I was entering middle school in 6th grade. I kid you not, one of the nights before I had my first day at that middle school and started 6th grade. Oh. Did you like any of the other 2 Prince of Persia games after this one? Yes, Junkyard Dog. By the way, I'm sorry if I was ignoring you or anything like that. I honestly did not know that. I didn't see the comment till now. But to answer your question, Warrior Within is my personal favorite out of the 3 Ubisoft titles. But I understand that Sands of Time is what most people prefer. And don't get me wrong, Sands of Time does a lot of things better than Warrior Within. I mean, even the combat is a lot more, I wouldn't say fluid, but definitely a lot less flamboyant and slow than Warrior Within and Sands of Time.
Where are we?
This was the Sultan's zoo.
As far as the story goes, Sands of Time essentially is the best. I will admit that much. Because Warrior Within pretty much tries to... It tries to take what Sands of Time does and then amps it up in terms of the... Not edginess, but the... I want to say the epicness. The problem with that is the setting in Warrior Within took place on essentially an empty island that once was home to an ancient civilization. But the problem with that,
Ow!
she really did. She just committed friendly fire. Well, I could go on with Warrior Within's problems as far as story, gameplay, and all that goes, but in my personal opinion, it's still the Ubisoft Prince of Persia title that I continue going back to the most, and I remember fondly. To give some context though, I think it's just because of the timing I played it. Warrior Within was released sometime, I think it was either 2004, and I think The Two Thrones was released in 2005. During the early 2000s, or mid 2000s I should say, you had, in American pop culture anyways, a lot of angsty grunge and rock and roll and stuff like that, right? And Warrior Within, for some reason, the developers decided to embrace that and shove a bunch of that pop culture into that game. And maybe it's just nostalgia talking. But I think that's why I enjoy the game so much. I hope that answers your question, Junkyard Dog, because
Done.
I feel
I'll
like
start the story from here next time.
I haven't given a long enough explanation, but yeah. I mean, I'm passionate about these games. Most, especially younger gamers nowadays, aren't going to know these titles even exist. And while I don't necessarily play them to show the young'uns what they're missing out on, I do genuinely enjoy these games. Because while they're not as good as either their newer titles or what's already out there nowadays, they still hold a very
Birds.
special place in my memory.
I don't think they did survive.
What about the Two Thrones? So the Two Thrones, here's where my opinion starts to get, what's the word I'm looking for? Nonsensical, I guess. So the Two Thrones, I have some gripes with, right? But at the same time though, I do understand why those problems do exist. First of all, in my personal opinion, I totally hate the stealth mechanic in that game. And this is coming from someone who has played a lot of Ubisoft titles, the franchises I should say. So Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and I mean the earliest titles. So the first Ghost Recon, I played way back when. Rainbow Six, I can't remember. It was one of the Xbox titles. And then it was the Black Arrow DLC. And I played Las Vegas, the first Las Vegas anyways, on 360. And then of course I played the original 3 Splinter Cell games. So I already know what Ubisoft is capable of when it comes to stealth, right? Stealth gameplay. And the stealth segments in the Two Thrones, honestly, I could just, the game, those parts of the game could be cut out and nothing of value would have been lost. Because people criticize Warrior Within for having stuff that, obviously didn't need to exist within the Prince of Persia, a Prince of Persia title, right? But in the Two Thrones case, it was that. I mean, that's not the only problem that Two Thrones had. First 4 minutes second, first country. On PC, right. And it's great that you do have all those games. Ubisoft's pretty good as far as porting all their older titles to PC. Granted, they don't really do a good job of, what's the word? Supporting them as far as making sure the games run properly. But yeah, it's great that you have a lot of those titles. Because, and it makes me sad to say this, but Ubisoft isn't, nowadays anyways, isn't what they used to be. Right? They used to be very different as far as the kind of games they made. And on top of that, they, for the first and foremost, Ubisoft was mostly just a development team that made either stealth action games or platformers, right? And Rayman is a good example of that. That's what they're really known for as far as the platforming goes. And for the stealth action titles, it's typically Splinter Cell.
Menagerie of Azad, the Sultan's pride and joy. It had been one of the wonders of the world. As a child, I dreamed of it and longed to see it with my own eyes. Now it was a place of terror, an abandoned ruin laid waste by the sands of time.
yeah, it's still much more populated than the entire island of Warrior Within. But anyways. Yeah, you played the, you still had the first Ghost Recon. For some reason, though, I don't know why, but they skip over Ghost Recon 2 as far as porting that game goes. But I actually played that on the original Xbox, and I can say with certainty that definitely took a lot of elements away from the first Ghost Recon, and I'll just give some examples. The stat system was taken out, and on top of that, a lot less squad commands was included in the game to make it easier to input squad commands on a Xbox controller. And I could go on, but essentially though, I totally understand why they skipped over Ghost Recon 2 as far as porting it over goes. What? Oops. That's why I do not play Rainbow Six after experience. Anything else for? I mean, yeah. And I will admit, like, now when people think of Rainbow Six, they think of Rainbow Six Siege, which is funny because from what I've understood about the development of that game, it didn't actually, it took what, three to 4 years for it to kickstart. To finally make it to the mainstream anyways. But yeah, Rainbow Six 3 Athena Sword. That title I'm not familiar with. I gotta look up the titles that I actually played. Because I definitely remember not playing Las Vegas 2. I don't know why. I think at that point I might have just stopped playing Ubisoft games entirely because that's a PC version. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. For console ports started cutting content. Yeah, that makes sense. And as far as I know, the first Rainbow Six game isn't... There are no console ports for it, as far as I remember. And I could be totally wrong about that, but if there ever was an original Rainbow Six game on 6th generation consoles, I've never heard of it. I know it's definitely was released on PC. Xbox had 2 versions, the PS1 had 1 version. Okay. I messed that completely. I don't know about originals. Yeah, and that was the title that had that busted stuff, right? The weird exploits you can have on certain maps. If I remember correctly, there was one specific map that you could just go into a brick and mortar building, and there was a hole in one of the walls where you could just throw, I think, smoke grenades or something, and you could just keep doing that over and over again, and somehow you would just get kills. I don't know, maybe I'm just at this point I'm just making stuff up, but I could have sworn I saw a video about that. Alright, cool. I think out of all the Ubisoft franchises, their earliest ones I should say, as far as the stealth action gameplay goes, I think Rainbow Six was the franchise that I played the least. Because I remember playing Ghost Recon, the original, Ghost Recon 2, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2, and for some reason I've still not completed Future Soldier. And I don't remember if they released, what was that new one that just got released? The one that has Sam Fisher as the DLC. I remember what the box art looks like, but I just can't remember the title. But yeah, I definitely played a lot more Ghost Recon than Rainbow Six. Not to say that one is better than the other. Let's put it this way. Ghost Recon has the team squad tactics style of gameplay for outdoors, right? Exterior environments. For Rainbow Six, however, it's all about the interior environments. So you got your corridors, your train rail yards, even shopping malls, and so on. Whereas Ghost Recon was all about stuff you can do outdoors, so you would have like trenches and public locations in cities like plazas and such. In fact, I think if I remember correctly, one of the maps that was in the single player campaign, the original Ghost Recon, had to do with, I want to say escorting, but it's more like fighting along a tank, right? An allied tank against other tanks. Man, I gotta play that game again. I also gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. What about you, Junkyard Dog? Do you, seriously again? Do you have any favorite titles from Ubisoft in general? Oh, I see. No. Alright. Come on, get up there. Cool. At this point, I'm slowly realizing that I grew up as an Ubisoft fanboy. But to be fair though, while not every title they made was gold, it was still pretty, a lot of their stuff was pretty good. As I mentioned, are some of my favorites because I like a lot of military and tactical shooters, like Sands of Time. Yeah, I totally understand. What's funny though is that Far Cry, that's pretty much the only franchise that I've got the least amount of gameplay in me goes, despite having so many titles. Because I played, the only Far Cry game I played was Far Cry 3, and that's the one most people seem to remember the franchise by. But it's probably also for a good reason. The game was pretty good. But then I talked about it with some other people about the sequel after that, or not the sequel, but the next title after that was Far Cry Primal. Far Cry Primal, for the most part, like, no one seems to ever talk about. I'm not sure why. And then it was Far Cry 4. I got a bunch of praise as well. Far Cry 5 is the latest entry, I think. But as far as the original Far Cry games, 1 and 2, I regret not being able to, never playing those. I gotta check to see if they have PC ports as well. Do I just jump from here? I do, okay. Yeah, I mean, Tom Clancy was pretty much how do I say this in the most respectful way possible? I wouldn't say he's like an executive producer or anything like that, like in movies. His name does actually mean something because he actually, a lot of the games were based off of his writings. Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon. Yeah, I never played the DLC for Far Cry, regrettably. Zombie U was also good. That is one of the titles that I keep seeing a lot whenever someone brings up the Wii U as far as exclusives go. That and Batman Arkham. Was either Arkham Origins? It should have been Arkham Origins.
Done. I'll start the story from here.
And then of course you got Smash for Wii U. I don't think it's called Smash 4 anymore. But yeah, Zombie U was one of the games that was brought up a lot far as Wii U goes. Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon. I think isn't the Blood Dragon DLC the one that has a lot of those 80s references? Not 80s references, but 80s pop culture. I think it is. Yes, yeah, that's why I remember so well. Okay. G-Man Lives did a review of that, and he said it was pretty good. I might, yeah, just get Far Cry 3 just to play that DLC. Worth the play, single player only, but very well made. I mean, that's pretty much one of the reasons why I like Ubisoft so much, because they cater towards the single player experience. For consoles, anyways.
Thanks.
While the campaigns were usually not very long, they definitely had a lot of strategy involved. I mean, you can even try playing the original Splinter Cell titles and try to play them like you would.
Believe the rest of my tale until now. Perhaps you will also believe me when I tell you that, as we made our way through the moonlit ruins, I began to feel strangely drawn to the girl at my side. My reason told me to distrust her, for she had good cause to hate me. Yet she had proven herself a loyal companion. And, I confess, I was grateful for the company of someone who, like me, was flesh and blood.
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, anyways, essentially Ubisoft made games specifically for people like me back in the day. Even the original Splinter Cell titles required the player to think through their situations rather than just try to run through them. I was about to make a comment and I just forgot it. Those jiggle physics. Anyway. That's what I was about to say. Ubisoft, not if I remember correctly. I remember them back then being very experimentative as far as the genres they were into making games for, anyways. So I mentioned earlier that Ubisoft is well known for Rayman as far as platforming goes, and for their stealth action games. Usually people know them by the Splinter Cell series, but they also dip into some other genres. For example, Beyond Good and Evil is, what's the best word or best genre to describe it? I want to call it an RPG, but
Are you all right?
I'm fine, thanks.
it's not exactly a platformer either. I guess action adventure game is probably the best way to describe it. And that's not that different from all their other titles. And it's hard to put in words. Or in a few words anyways. Let me put it this way. Beyond Good and Evil was an ambitious project that
Wonderful.
Ubisoft was trying to do a bunch of different things at once in. Platforming, puzzling, combat.
Hey! There's no door.
Stand on that pressure plate, will you?
A bunch of world building. I think that's what I remember Beyond Good and Evil most for. Because the world in Beyond Good and Evil, it's difficult to describe it. You have all these anthropomorphic characters living with humans, but they live in a sci-fi world that also has magic involved. it's hard to explain because it tries to do a bunch of different things at once, both gameplay and story-wise. And thankfully, I got to play that on PC because I didn't play that on console originally. Unfortunately, though, whatever title they made and reference to that was not very good.
I don't know. Can't you crawl through a crack or something?
Besides 2D platformers like Rayman, they also did a 3D platformer called Torque. Oops. I'm gonna have to start over. And most people don't really know about Torque, even when they're talking about Ubisoft, just because it wasn't a bad game. It was just it didn't do anything great or noteworthy. Oops. What else? I'm not familiar with it, yeah. I've only played it like once, and pretty much even I forget about it sometimes. Let me see if we can just dive roll through this. Nope. You have to walk slowly past it. So yeah, Beyond Good and Evil, Torque, Prehistoric Punk, and I feel like there was at least one other title that they developed.
Yes.
No, I don't. Just go back in time. Anyways, they made some other games that don't really have anything to do with what you would think they would make. Oh, okay, I guess I do have to go back. Ow.
Yes, so it seems.
Oops. No. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. Camera's just so funky on this PC port. I don't remember it being this bad on console. There we go. Did you ever, Junkyard Dog, did you ever I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't speak English today for some reason. When it came to the AI in a lot of the stealth action Ubisoft titles, did you ever find different ways to mess with the NPCs? So I remember that was my favorite part about Chaos Theory. And what I mean by that is, if you could... Let me give an example. So, I was replaying Chaos Theory, last year? And I was messing with this one NPC that was standing in the hallway in this place. Was it this place? No, Penthouse. Penthouse. And the mercenary has back towards the door. I whistled for the dude to move away from the door, put a mine on the door, and he was already anxious, right, by the time he went back to the door and leaned against it. And I got Sam to hide on the other side of the door. I whistled. I made him whistle, and the NPC, for some reason, panicked and shot at the mine, ending up killing himself. And for some reason, that just made me laugh so hard. I don't know why that was so funny, but it looked like something that you would see in a TV show.
That's not how it happened.
I'm definitely not paying attention to what I'm
I
doing.
don't know. Can't you crawl through a crack or something?
Alright, let me shut up for a second and actually get through this. Pretty awesome and hilarious. Yeah, I wish I recorded it. I can recreate it though. I should stream Chaos Theory again, just do stuff like that. And it has to be Chaos Theory specifically. It won't work in the older titles, like, really. In the first game or Pandora Tomorrow, because the AI is just not as receptive or dynamic as it is in Chaos Theory. And Ghost Recon, you don't really get to do stuff like that, but I think in the original Rainbow Six games, you can breach certain rooms and different ways and get some really interesting results. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Actually, it wasn't just Chaos Theory that you could do stuff like that in. I remember in Thief Deadly Shadows, you could do similar stuff in that game. But that's just because the AI was just that good. Really?
Oh no. Now you'll have to do it all over again.
Yes, so it seems.
Yeah, stealth action games are pretty much the only genre that allows the player to do stuff like that, and there's no other genre that I can think of where you can actually just psychologically harass and destroy the NPCs. Maybe RPGs, but even then, those are predetermined. In stealth action games, it's dynamic in that you can get NPCs to act and do some of the stupidest things just because they're panicking, right? Doing things because they're afraid.
That's strange. I almost feel as if I've lived this way.
Actually, that's not true. Well, stealth action games are not the only genre that does that. If you ever played Sleeping Dogs, the Square Enix open world game,
I'll wait here.
the NPCs do some really strange stuff in that game as well. And let me give an example. Say in that game you're just driving, right? And you happen to accidentally run over someone, or an NPC rather, just a random pedestrian. So whenever that happens, an ambulance is sure to drive towards the NPC, the pedestrian that you injured, and they'll try. The paramedics will try to revive them. Well, the funny thing is that when the pedestrian gets back up, right, if they're not too injured, the ambulance that the paramedics are driving in can actually run them over again and end up killing them. Which is ironic because, of course, the paramedics are there to help that pedestrian live. They end up killing them. So yeah, open world games should be the only other genre that allows players to mess with the enemy AI or NPC AI in general. But speaking of genres, we gotta talk about Ubisoft's open world games. Because unfortunately, that's all they're known for nowadays. Isn't Ghost Recon an open world game too now? Wildlands, I think the latest title is called. The one with Sam Fisher as the DLC. I know. It hurts, man. It hurts. Like that's all they're known for, and that's all they make too. That's a sad thing. I can't. Yeah, video games now. I hope I don't fall off this ledge. This is the only time where counterattacking is necessary. That and the red, not red, blue road spearmen. I think the only franchise that they haven't made open world games for is the Rainbow Six franchise. And Splinter Cell, actually. Which is what a lot of people speculated would happen if Ubisoft ever decided to make a new Splinter Cell title. And I see where people are coming from. But thankfully though, from what Ubisoft Toronto said about the remake, do I just keep finding these guys over and over again? I don't think I do. But yeah, from what Toronto said, they're not going to really try to pull something like that off. They're going to actually be genuine and okay, yeah, they're just going to infinitely respawn. Make a genuine remaster or remake of the first game, which is good. And they're the same guys that developed the last or latest Splinter Cell title, Blacklist, and they didn't do a good bad job with that either. I mean, Blacklist is a whole can of worms I can go over, but I'll say that for later. But let's go back to open world games. So let's see, Far Cry is an open world franchise now. Assassin's Creed's always been that way, but it used to be about stealth action in an open world setting, but nowadays, so it's an RPG. I just gotta call it what it is. That's what Odyssey was, and that's what Valhalla is. Conviction Black is gonna feel that to me. I mean, Conviction was the title that I think most diehard Splinter Cell fans just essentially gave up on the franchise. That was pretty much their breaking point. Because why bother looking forward to the next Splinter Cell title if Ubisoft themselves are not gonna even remotely follow the same formula that works so well 3 games in a row. And mind you, the first Splinter Cell game was released in 2002. What am I doing? No, I am supposed to go downward. Yeah, I'm supposed to slide down. Yeah, 2002. Right. And then Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, which is supposed to be a a quasi sequel to the first game, was released in 2004. And then of course Chaos Theory was released in 2005. So for I kid you not, 3 years straight in a row, they follow the same simple formula, and by the third game, right, in the franchise, they essentially made a masterpiece. Double Agent, most people have mixed feelings towards, but I find it funny that people skip over Double Agent because they remember Conviction more. And that's because Conviction essentially strays so far away from the original formula that you might as well just, yeah, same for me, yeah. Oh man, where do I even begin with conviction? Let's see. No. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, so for conviction, what's the root of the problem with conviction besides the story, right? There's a whole third echelon just essentially disintegrating. I never liked that turn. I mean, killing off Lambert and Double Agent was bad enough, but then they essentially made all the OGs at third echelon essentially repurposed. Because, and I gotta remember this, Conviction was technically supposed to be a completely different game. Okay, that's all I had to do, was just wall run. It also brings in his personal life to the max, his daughter. Yeah. And the first game tried to balance his daughter, right? Not balance. The purpose of Sam Fisher's daughter, ever since the first game, was supposed to humanize Sam Fisher, to make sure that he isn't just a walking, talking shadow. The thing is, though, I don't think she ever gets brought up again in Pandora Tomorrow. And I checked into this. In Chaos Theory, she was planned to be brought up as a plot point. But because of time restraints, they did not do that. So, throughout Chaos Theory's entire playthrough, in the original single-player campaign anyways, she is never brought up at all. So, quite literally, if anyone who has never played a Splinter Cell game ever played Chaos Theory first, right, and that was their first experience in the franchise, they would have no idea that Sam Fisher had a daughter.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Yes, I feel he is also human as you guys. The Sage. The funny thing is, though, is that when you talk about his age, in each progressive title anyways, after the first game, the gameplay reflected his age, because he just kept getting heavier, or rather he felt heavier and slower as the player tried to make him jump and run. If you compare the movement speed between the first game and Chaos Theory, as well as the jump speed, the jump height, or the trajectory anyways, completely different. Completely different. Yeah, Shanghai. Well, from what I understand, Pandora Tomorrow was developed by Shanghai because Montreal wanted to devote all their time to developing Chaos Theory. Essentially, Shanghai was just treated as a glorified expansion pack for the original game. But despite that, though, Shanghai is still pretty good. I mean, not Shanghai. Pandora Tomorrow is pretty good. And the funny thing is, too, is that if you don't include the DLC missions and the training mission of the first game, Pandora Tomorrow, as far as the length of the campaign goes, is one mission shorter than the original game. But despite that, though, Pandora Tomorrow is still a pretty solid experience for 1 year development. 1 year. Yeah, it's kind of flaky. I enjoyed it. Yeah. And yeah, don't get me wrong. Trying to do a ghost playthrough, Pandora Tomorrow, is pretty much your best option despite the AI being a bit jank sometimes. The original game unfortunately had a bunch of scripted combat sequences that the player had to play through. So trying to do a ghost playthrough of that game is impossible because, I mean, you had no choice, right? You had to complete some shootouts. And in Chaos Theory, and I think I explained this during the stream when I was streaming Chaos Theory last year. If it weren't for Bathhouse, that mission in Chaos Theory, people will be able to do a ghost playthrough of Chaos Theory. No doubt about it. It'll be completely possible. Bathhouse is the only reason why I cannot do a ghost playthrough of that game. And it sucks because most of that mission is actually well designed.
The baths.
I'm lost in thought about that statement. Because it's true. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers. A lot of luck and one place smoke if you want to ghost it. Yeah. And it's sad, really, because it's only during that last bit, right, after the grand reveal of the antagonist. That is the only reason why that part of the mission, the last part anyways, is impossible to go through the game. Because everything else that leads up to that point but you can pretty much go through most of that mission, essentially. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it anyways. If you don't want to hear the spoilers to that particular mission and the plot point that gets dropped during that mission, just go ahead and leave the stream now, or whatever. But essentially, in the bathhouse mission, towards the last bit of it anyways, Sam Fisher finds out that his comrade is he's essentially a war criminal, and there's a big shootout that goes on between the two factions inside that bathhouse location. And what ends up happening is the player has to essentially sneak their way past, or not past, but through a gunfight between four Spec Ops soldiers, or mercenaries I should say, that have night vision goggles on. No, not night vision, thermal vision. Because they can actually see through... No, I was right. It's night vision. Night vision goggles. Because they can't see through smoke. And They essentially ambush Sam Fisher. Especially in one of the rooms in the bathhouse, which is a shower room. So, in that shower room, 3 of those Spec Ops guys already has their weapons pointed towards the only entrance into that room, and they're standing right next to the guarding. Wow, I'm really bad at talking and playing at the same
That's
time.
not right. That isn't.
But the 3 guards essentially making it impossible to sneak past them, or the player sneak past them without throwing what little smoke and flash grenades that the mission provides, right? And it doesn't stop there. Those same guys will try to stop Sam Fisher from defusing some bombs in the boiler room within the bathhouse, right? And again, it's the boiler room makes it nearly impossible to hide from some of those Spec Ops guys, right? But they're, after defusing the last bomb, when Sam's now war criminal friend goes through the exit of that boiler room, which is the only path out of the boiler room, by the way, and you have to chase, the player has to chase down the war criminal dude. Unfortunately, there is one more Spec Ops guy that bashes through that door and faces towards the only path that the player can take to that exit. It's a lot harder to explain in words than to just show it off, but what my point is that it's completely impossible without, you know, cheating somehow, which even then I don't know how you would cheat in that game. It's impossible to sneak past that last Spec Ops guy without taking him down anyways. Of course, you could always just throw a airfoil around or a sticky shocker if you got one saved up and take him down. But when I say a ghost playthrough, I mean... Wow, we got wrecked.
No. That's enough.
When I mean ghost playthrough, I mean you literally, I as a player anyways, do not interact with anything in the environment. So no turning the light switches on, no moving curtains, no blowing out candles, nothing, right? Literally sneaking past the enemies using nothing but movement, right? And of course not taking them down either. So letting all the NPCs, including the guards, stay awake, right? Or not, essentially not knocking them out. And up until Bathhouse, it's possible. In one of the previous missions, Soul, it's by far really ridiculously difficult to do so, but it's possible. Oops. Come on, man. Let me just sand him. There we go. Sand him. Stab him. Maybe I should pull that stream up on my YouTube channel and show it off, because as I said, it's harder to explain in words than to just show it off. You have to see it for yourself to know what I'm talking about, because it made me sad when I was doing that stream. Not stream. It made me sad when I was doing that playthrough, because the few missions before Bathhouse, right? Soul and Battery. It was essentially ridiculously difficult, but it was possible. I proved it. to go through those missions. And then here comes Bathhouse saying, no, all your efforts were in vain. You cannot do a ghost playthrough of this game. Anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting. There we go.
Sorry.
I might stop. Oh, you're right, yeah. And that's the sad thing is that I want to be wrong. Because that's a masterpiece, right? Chaos Theory is a really great game. And straight up, people even call it one of the best games ever made. Oh, Farrah, you suck at fighting.
She didn't.
Until it must be difficult to play this and explain details about that. Because it's burned into my memory because... Oh my god, and again, I wish I recorded that playthrough. You would not believe the number of attempts I had to make just to get through Battery and Soul.
The baths.
Oh my goodness. You want to talk about janky? Janky AI? Okay. Hear this, right? Okay. So here's something I didn't explain earlier. In Chaos Theory, on the hardest difficulty, which is Expert, the AI, NPC AI, acts in some very, and I'm just going to use air quotes here, interesting ways. And let me give an example. Say you have Sam Fisher just opening up a vent, right? A vent hood in the ceiling, like in the Displace mission, where the meeting room is, right? With those 4 guys, and one of them is having a briefcase, right? That you gotta hack into. Literally, I just made Sam Fisher open that vent hood up. That's it. And then I made Sam stand next to, but not right on top of, the edge of that vent hood, right? So the 4 NPCs, they start walking outside of that meeting room. One of those NPCs that carries a gun, I kid you not, and again, I wish I recorded all this, somehow, in some way, detected Sam standing directly above the vent hood where he was walking under Sam, right? And in a split second, pulled out his pistol, aimed it towards the edge of that vent hood, fired around, and then immediately turned back around, holstered his gun, and walked as if nothing happened. Now imagine that, but every NPC acts like that throughout a 2-part mission. That's what Soul was like. Oh my goodness. Oh man. And get this. I had the brightest idea when I was doing that ghost playthrough. Every time I was detected by an NPC, and of course, set off an alarm, or even if they just suspected that Sam was around, right? They just got suspicious. I made it a challenge to replay the entire mission every single time that happened. Why I did that, I don't know, but I think it had something to do with all those videos that get uploaded onto YouTube lately, those challenge runs in older games, where, you know, they do like, you know, can you beat so-and-so game by doing so-and-so thing? I think that's the reason why I did the playthrough like that. I couldn't even guess the number of attempts I made. on soul and battery alone. Anyways, and then of course, by the time I got to the bathhouse and I made that unfortunate discovery, oh man, I was in complete despair. Because it was not like a challenge run where it took only a few hours. I was grinding it out for like 2 weeks up to that point. You know, kind of like a speed run, except there's some dedication. Because I love the game that much, and I wanted to see if I could push the gameplay to its utter limits, right? Because that's a fantasy you have, or not you, but people have, right, when it comes to being a spy, right? Or a ninja, or essentially any sneaky archetype, is to infiltrate a setting in a way where you essentially leave no evidence of your presence in that location. That was essentially what I was trying to achieve in that challenge run. So no saving, no quick saving, restarting every time I got the NPCs suspicious, right? Playing on expert with and playing every single mission with the stealth loadouts. So that means less ammo and less firepower. Right, but you know, you get more non-lethal gadgets. Not being able to take any of the NPCs out, completing all of these side objectives, opportunity objectives, bonus objectives, and so on. Not interacting with the environment whatsoever, unless of course it was something like platforming where I had to climb a pipe or something. That was fine. Or, of course, if it involved a side objective where I had to tap a phone line, like in Bathhouse, that was fine as well. That was the only exceptions, right? So, going through that challenge run with all those limitations and feeling oh so euphoric every time I push through every single mission, even Soul and Battery. And then to get to Bathhouse and reach that end part, it felt like someone threw a giant boulder against my head. Like that's pretty much how crushed I felt with that realization that you cannot do a ghost playthrough. Anyways, enough about that, though. Let me know if you want to see that, though. See me stream that. I would definitely play Cast Theory again, just for that alone. The anguish, man. Like, just... Oh, man, to realize that all your efforts were in vain. Oh man. Keep in mind too that in order to do a challenge run like that, you have to know the game as well as a speedrunner knows how to exploit and break a game. I never played Silent Hill 2. I definitely never played Silent Hill 2 on a stream. I mean this channel. It must have been a game like Silent Hill 2. Have I played any horror games on this channel yet? I don't think I have. Maybe I have and I just don't remember. Are we done? Is that it? It is, okay. The music stops, so that... What? Okay, I guess we're not. You know what? I think I might actually just do that run anyways. The world has to see what could have been. I'm trying to remember if it was L2 or Chaos. Nah, it's gotta be Chaos Theory. Because I definitely don't have any Konami games at all on my PC. I gotta protect Best Girl. Yeah, that was my fault. I did not understand how the chat system works on Twitch, and I made it so that people had to wait 3 months just to use chat on my streams. Thankfully, someone else was kind enough to tweet me, message me on Twitter, letting me know that mistake I made. So I quickly fixed that. And ever since then, thankfully, people have been able to post stuff in chat. So I do apologize for that. And what can I say? I was still new to streaming at the time. And how many more of these guys am I gonna have to kill? Please let this be the last one. Okay, cool. I mean, even now, I didn't have chat visible on my stream layout either. I was like the nerd, but he kept talking about the game and I was interested, so I followed. I appreciate that, and again, I do apologize for that. I was just really, I mean, I still kind of am, but I'm just really incompetent as far as being a professional streamer goes. I mean, I'm not a professional streamer, but yeah, I mean, I remember too, there were a lot of live views during that stream, and when one of the dudes that messaged me on Twitter explained to me that mistake I made, I was wondering to myself how many more people could have talked to me about this, right? Or about the game in general. What kind of conversations could have had.
I'll start the story from here next
I've
time.
always regretted that. But yeah, I do appreciate you checking by again.
I know.
Just doing what I can to make my stream much more accessible to people. And of course to provide a fun and interesting, sometimes educational experience. I guess that's the root of this channel is I just like what I like and I just stream that. I just stream what I like. And don't get me wrong, even though I mostly play nothing but older games, it's not that I hate newer games. I'm not one of those people that, you know, do that thing where, oh, things were so much better back in my day and all that. No. It's not that, it's just I'm looking for a boss copy. Look on Monster Fantasy. Love older games too. Yeah. And that's kind of the sad thing is that game preservation is a bigger issue as time goes on. I mean, if I wanted to play, what's a recent game that I was trying to look up? Sonic Heroes. That's a game that a lot of Sonic fans really want to have a re-release of, right? And it was originally released on PC. However, it's not on Steam or GOG. None of the Sonic games are going to be on GOG. They're all on Steam. But even then, though, you're not going to see most 6th generation Sonic games on Steam. I don't know why Sega is like that, but you know, it's whatever. Collection of Black's PC games. So you like the you like hard physical copies. I will get into that too, but the problem is my PC does not have a disc reader. So if I were to ever get hard copies of any PC games, I would just get it just for the sake of getting the case. But yeah, it's good that you play your favorite games. I feel like nowadays when people make content as far as video games goes, oh right, I remember now how to go through this. Not like that. Wait, switching discs. Yeah. Music. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you just like use ISOs and such, or something like that. I know that's what some people do with ROMs as far as playing older console games. Yeah, switching discs. I'm not gonna lie, that's something that I kind of turn on my old Xbox 360 every now and again for. It's not so much to play older games, it's just to feel the tactile process of getting a game started and all that. That's weird. Okay, never mind. That's right. Okay, I see. Cool. Anyways, what was I saying? Right, video game content nowadays. What I see nowadays, as far as video game content goes, both on YouTube and Twitch, is just whatever, not necessarily your games, but whatever games that involve RNG and or multiplayer. They don't even have to be competitive, right? You're gonna have essentially a few either YouTubers or content creators, streamers, play a cooperative game. And as long as they're able to make jokes, or there's a bunch of RNG in the game, like say a Mario Party, then that's pretty much the majority of video game content nowadays. There's nothing wrong with that. I watch that content sometimes too, but if, for example, you want to listen to a guy gush about a 20-year-old game for 2 hours straight, you're not going to find that on Twitch. You'll find it on YouTube, but you'll definitely not find it on Twitch. Unless you're me. In which case, I'd be willing to do that. I don't know how entertaining it would be, but I'd be willing to do it. But yeah, and on top of that, you'll watch, those videos are made in video essay formats. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I've thought about making one of those myself. But if you're trying to get streamers to play single player games nowadays, it has to either be a really difficult Souls-like game Or again, it has to have a bunch of RNG. Like a roguelike. By the way, I know that I could just use the one of the sand powers to kill all these enemies quickly, but because I'm talking, I'm essentially making it difficult for myself to concentrate. How about the games I play? I have Windows 98, Windows XP machine for older games. Yeah, you're the type that, because I've heard of this too, right? I know some retro enthusiasts actually some build PCs with older computer parts, like older models of graphics cards and processors, specifically to run older games in their native specs and resolutions and all that. I don't know if I'd be willing to go that far. Because even though I like older games, I also enjoy modern HD resolutions and 60 FPS, frame rates, so on. About the XP machine 2020 last year.
Something glowing up there.
Is that process difficult? And is it hard to find older parts like that, or are there specific companies that make retro specs or older models anyways of stuff like that? It's got me wondering.
Look so strong. Do you think you could smash it with your sword?
Because I know for my graphics card, for my current PC that I'm using to stream right now, it's definitely an older model, but it was still being in production anyways by some other companies. Photo albums. Oh, cool. So you keep an archive of that information. I think the only time I've ever posted my PC specs was when I did it on my DeviantArt account back in, I think, 2019. And that was only because I wanted to. That's because I was originally using an HP notebook, 2000 notebook, 2012 laptop model, and that's when I was using that to upload stuff onto my DeviantArt account before I built my PC. And then, of course, after I built my PC, I posted my specs there. I don't think I've ever posted my specs anywhere else. Speaking of getting
Done.
PC parts,
I'll start the story from here next time.
makes me wonder if that issue that was going on earlier this year, the graphics card scalping that was going on with the GTX, the new NVIDIA graphics cards, what's going on? Just looked. I remember your stream with Knuckles you were making. Look at that time. Oh yeah, that was when I was streaming myself drawing Knuckles and all that. Funny enough, I had a coworker last year ask me about that, because I happened to be talking about my Twitch channel, and he was curious. He checked out my channel, looked at one of the most recent VOD, and it happened to be one of those art streams I was doing where I was drawing Knuckles, and he was just, yeah, a lot of questions, man. It was embarrassing, but at the same time, though, he wouldn't understand, you know. Knuckles and I just had something that most people just wish they had. But in all seriousness, though, that was just a phase that I'm glad I got over. Don't get me wrong, if anybody wants to make art-related content, and stream art-related content, let me put it that way, whether that be art making or discussing art or whatever, that's totally fine. I don't have any gripes against that. I'm not gonna diss on that. It's just that, for me personally, yeah, this is the puzzle where you have to drain the water first. I just had a lot of... What's the word? A lot of negative feelings towards my student, art student experience. So I just didn't care enough to continue making art related content. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But yeah, you must have had a lot of questions about that. Like, why is this guy drawing Knuckles for the 8th time in a row, and he's still not covering up all the missing pixels and that background layer? And he's zooming in at 600%. Look, man, I got bad eyesight. What can I say? Speaking of what can I say, where am I going? I remember this puzzle being a bit out there as far as what you had to do to complete it. I know that I had to drain the water. I just can't remember how. Also, is she meant to stand in the play like this? I can't push her. So I'm guessing so. Can I destroy this? Not. I only did 2 poke too. Yeah, I did. And I was working on why can't I think right now? What is his name? There was another person that I was doing drawing streams on after I completed the Tupac drawing, and that's when I made the decision to stop. I do sometimes think about finishing that other drawing, but at this point, though, I mean, unless someone really wants me to, I just don't see any point in it. But I will say, though, that I'm glad I stopped at Tupac, because if there was any figure, or person rather, that I'd like to end my art career on, it would definitely be him. Okay, how am I supposed to drain this? This doesn't fall off the ledge, does it? No. I mean, stairs. Okay, hold on. Don't get me wrong, I had plans after those drawings. Other people I want to draw, and other characters, and even fan art of some of the games that I streamed, but the negativity that I was feeling just was too strong. Too strong. Anyways, I think I made my point. I don't want to cause any bad vibes in the stream. That's not what I want. That's the last thing I want, is for my stream to be like that. I was actually listening to strictly from yesterday. Yeah. I think that may be my favorite album from him. I haven't listened to his latest albums. I think I stopped at maybe not his album, but I remember listening to Are You Still Down? And for some reason though, I've always just enjoyed his second album, If I Die Tonight. And I did, during that month of February, earlier this year, I did listen to his first album. The last track on it, the one about the story about some chicks, or one chick in particular. It was powerful, let's put it that way. Got me tearing up. Unreleased content, yeah. This is third. Me Against the World, that's right. Tupacalypse Now. That's right, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Brenda's Got a Baby, that's right. That's what it was. Because I watched the music video while I was listening to it, and yeah, I could totally see that existing in the 90s. Yeah, that's definitely the case. That's why I loved his work so much. Because it's not that the other artists during his time were not as real as him or anything like that, or they weren't real at all, let's put it that way. They weren't phonies or something like that. It's not that they weren't as talented or skilled in their craft. It was just more so that he said what needed to be said, and even if he got in trouble for it, it's not like he cared about that. Or at least I didn't make him stop what he was doing. Because he got into a lot of trouble for Dear Mama. Sorry, no, not Dear Mama. He got in trouble with one of the tracks. And Dear Mama actually was archived in the Library of Congress. Or essentially, it was so well received, and the message behind it was so great that essentially the U.S. government decided to archive it. It's actually, I think anyways, it's a it's a national treasure now at this point. I don't know any other artists that you could say about that. You could say that anyways for them. Okay, I'm starting to remember how to complete this puzzle. Yeah, so you push this, or this way, and you jump on top there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kanye West, Drake, all of them nowadays, or not nowadays, but in the 2000s, especially the late 2000s, they're good in their own right as far as what they're able to make and such, but quite honestly though, am I really going to remember those guys over someone as influential as Tupac? No. And the only reason why is because Tupac essentially just didn't describe his own problems, his own personal problems, but he was addressing what the states were like back in the late 90s. All of his music, as far as those earliest albums go, were pretty much a good explanation of what the states was like back then. And of course, unless Have I really been just running around in circles this entire time? But unless, it was he had a beef with a particular person, in which case he'll make a diss track about them. Typically, though, he's just gonna talk about stuff, not just talk, make music about, but also just talk about stuff that people didn't want to hear back then. Musical revolutionist, and that's what I've had some people I talked to about him before. They called him a rebel, and he essentially was. I mean, I'm a rude boy, but would I actually be willing to do what he did and go through the same consequences he went through because of what he did? I don't think I would to the extent he went through. That took everyone to see, so it was, yeah, Rage Against the Machine. The thing is though, Rage Against the Machine, from what I've heard, they're not active because of some internal conflicts. But that's how bands usually are. If everyone's not on the same page, then, I mean, the band essentially just doesn't make music. That's what happened to sorry. In the Gorillaz case, it wasn't that the band members were having issues with each other, it was the animator or the music video developer having issues with whoever was in charge of releasing the music, right? There was just some disagreements between them, and that's why one of their albums that nobody talks about, what's it called? The Fall, or something like that. It's called something like that, right? Something melodramatic. That's essentially why they only released that album and didn't release anything else for a good long while. Rage Against the Machine, though, I can't really say anything more about them than the fact that I only remember them for 2 tracks, and that was it. That's it. Killing in the Name Of, and another one that I can't remember right now. Okay, I think I might be stuck. I'm having a hard time figuring this out, so let me just go ahead and watch this again. No, I don't want to save. Let me watch it again. I wasn't. Okay, I see now.
As you wish.
No, so I was supposed to actually touch this other plate, or run against it anyways. I thought that I had to put a sculpture there in order to have both plates pressed, but apparently not.
That's 2 doors open.
Oops. There we go.
You did it. Hurry, before it closes.
So I'm supposed to just hurry and get over there. Wrong direction. I'm probably not gonna make it. Yep. Okay. speaking of music, Amon Tobin, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The guy that produced the soundtrack for Chaos Theory. Apparently he's still making music. Because he essentially made several albums before the Chaos Theory soundtrack, and then he made a few afterwards. I guess there's nothing else here. Yeah, there's nothing.
The water. It's going down.
I don't know if he was the only guy that worked on the soundtrack, but if you... Okay, for anyone that hasn't played Chaos Theory and wants to know more about why the soundtrack to Chaos Theory sounds so good, there's an explanation of... Not explanation, there's a short biography of Amon Tobin on the in the game itself. If you get the PC version anyways.
I wonder what those levers do.
It's a great read, by the way. Of course, you could also look that same information. Why is it so good? No, it explains the how Ubisoft Montreal found Amon Tobin and the influence behind the music and the soundtrack. Right, so all the genres that are included in the soundtrack and some of the key ideas behind it. It's not a very long read either, but definitely though, if you enjoy the soundtrack, I recommend just giving it a read. It'll only take a few minutes. But unfortunately though, if anybody wants to buy the the entire soundtrack to the game, whoops, wrong direction. On iTunes anyways, only some of the tracks from the game are available to purchase as an entire album. So there's supposed to be somewhere around 10 to 15 tracks, and only I think 8 are available to buy. Which sucks because the soundtrack is really good. And if you don't believe me, one of the tracks that was in the game, the soundtrack to the bank heist mission, I messed up. That track was actually played in a few trailers and commercials on TV back in the day. I should pull it up, because if I remember correctly, if anyone's watched it, the Ben 10 Alien Force live action TV special, the trailer for that TV special anyways actually did play the, if I remember correctly anyways, it did play the bank soundtrack to the bank mission in Chaos Theory. I hope I'm not making that up. I hope I'm remembering correctly, because I could have sworn that was the case. So I always wondered if the same guys who were producing that television show also played Chaos Theory. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can just pull it up. It's gonna be kind of sketchy, but yeah, let me see if I can pull it up on YouTube quick. It's gonna be kind of sketchy, but let's see. Yeah, live action. Put a trailer. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm gonna mute the audio just to be sure. 1 second. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, because so far I'm not finding it. Then again, though, this TV special was released over 10 years ago, so all the video clips I'm checking right now are older than 10 years. There's only like 3 of them. Hold on, I could have sworn. Theme. Yeah, I guess I'm remembering wrong then. Either that or maybe they edited those clips. A lot of time ago. That's weird. Okay, well that's a rabbit hole in and of itself. Let me see if I can do this. Not that. And I could have sworn it was for that one specifically. Let me check this last clip. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. I guess I'm wrong. That's weird. Does it say anything like that in the wiki? Let me check. Chaos theory. Thing. Used in. Let me check the wiki. Trivia. No, I guess I'm completely making stuff up. Alright, never mind. Never mind. I could have sworn that was the case, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so far I'm just not finding it. That sucks. Because that would have been really cool to see, but yeah, unfortunately that's not the case. How long have I been streaming? About 2.5 hours now. I think the next save point I get to, I'll just go ahead and end the stream then. Oops. Alright, hold on. Let me move OBS back. Turn the audio back on. There we go. Yeah, sorry for the letdown. I could have sworn that was the case, because that's one of the few memories that still stick with me, but I don't know. I know. Yeah. It was a strange time where that track just kept getting played in certain commercials on TV. It wasn't just that trailer for that live action movie. I mean, TV special. But again, no, maybe I'm just wrong. It is literally more than 10 years ago, so I could easily just be remembering it correctly. Alright, let's see. What was I doing? Right. There's a specific TV show that I remember watching while I played Chaos Theory back on the back in the 2000s, and the show was called Class of 3000. And I remember I would be watching the show until the commercials aired. Okay, apparently just already did that. When the commercials, commercial break happened during each episode of that show, I would just go back to playing Chaos Theory. And essentially just play Chaos Theory in between, during commercial breaks. It was a very unique show in that, one, it starred a celebrity, right, Andre 3000, but also it was a show specifically about music. And don't get me wrong, animated shows and music go hand in hand. But to have a show specifically about a music teacher trying to teach a class of music students, right? And during each episode, there would be a song, an original song that Andre 3000 helped make, at least for some of them anyways, because he did the vocals of some of them. Okay, I just did all this. I'm confused. What did I not do? I drained everything. Now, why do I have to stand on this? Don't understand. Oh, right, I gotta push this back in here. But yeah, it was a very colorful show on top of that. It wasn't...
Stay there!
What's the name of that show that was released and aired in the 2010s? The one that Rebel Taxi, Pan Pizza said made his eyes bleed or something like that. The Problem Solvers, that's right. It was, the colors weren't that blinding, but it was definitely a colorful show. Vibrant. And I'm sure the That show must have costed a lot of money to produce in order to have all that going on. Alright, what else am I supposed to do? There should be a ladder I should climb, right? Yeah. Yeah. Let me replay the vision again. Yeah, so there is something I have to climb up.
As you wish.
Not there. Not there either. Where? Maybe back inside there? Maybe I should walk back out. Get some sleep, which like.
Don't worry about me.
Sure, I don't see any harm in doing that. Yeah, go ahead and link it. I'll check them out later too. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to go there anyways.
I almost feel as if I've lived this moment before.
Oh, hold on. I think I disabled links. Did I? Hold on. Because it's not coming up on chat. 1 second. Let's see. Settings. Let me do that. Moderation, that's where it should be. Let's in terms of phrases. Block hyperlinks. Okay, yeah, so I did set that on. Okay, I turned it off. Yeah, you should be able to post a link again. It should appear this time. That's save? No, I don't. Okay. What is this? Yeah, my attention is. Ah, I didn't mean for that to happen. Oh my goodness. Tell you what, I got a Twitter that's linked on the channel. You could just post it there, DM me the link. I should appear there. I didn't realize that Nightbot also blocked hyperlinks as well. What? Okay, I am so sorry, dude. I did not know Nightbot does this. Oh man, I'm a terrible streamer. Okay, I need to change this. 1 second. Can I change it now? Oh man. That's blocked. I'm so sorry, dude. I didn't know Nightbot blocked hyperlinks. Yeah, I gotta readjust these settings. Oh man, I'm so sorry, dude. As I said, I'm still interested in checking it out. The better, easier way to do it is just through my Twitter. You could just DM me that. It's on the Twitch channel. You can just click on that. I don't know why Nightbot by default blocks hyperlinks. I mean, I'm assuming that's just because they don't want people to click on something malicious or something, but I mean, I didn't see that setting there when I got the Nightbot. Hold on. Do I have... Can I change that setting here? No, Nightbot's not even here in the settings. Okay, it must have been through some other service. Let me check to see if it's on like Streamlabs or something. Game elements. Okay, well, it's not gonna let me log in with my Twitch. I think it is permit. Okay, let me try it. Okay, so 60 seconds. That's not a whole lot of time. Okay, cool. It worked. It worked. I see it now. All right. Thank you for being patient with me. Take a look. Oh. Okay. Oh, Asus. That's great. Yeah, I got an Asus motherboard too. RGB fans? Nice. Okay. You got all the works. Funny enough, this looks very similar to my setup. Except I have a deep cool PC case instead of a... What's it called? Asus PC case. Windows 98 machine. Oh, you're pretty much styling. Is that a glass? Is that a glass side? No way. Yeah, it's glass because I can see everything inside. Nice. One red LED fan. Okay, okay. Yeah. So the processor also has RGB lighting. I see that the NVIDIA graphics card also has RGB lighting. I don't know if you could change the color on that though. Besides something besides green, but yeah, that's great. Nice, nice. You got the it looks like you got the slots for the SSDs in the top front corner. I have it on the bottom for my PC case. It's just an NVIDIA green. Yeah, I figured as much. I was surprised that you can change whatever color you want on the processor, but not the graphics card. You know, considering that the graphics card handles everything involving visuals, but who am I to tell manufacturers what they can and can't do? Is that lighting on the... No way. Are the RAM sticks also having lighting as well? They're red. They're glowing red. I didn't even know that was possible. Ah, this is great. And all this for an operating system that was released 20 years ago. Heat sinks. Okay, okay. So you have cooling. Yeah, you got some cooling going on externally from the fan. I'm sure that they're connected together. They would have to be. Nice, nice. AMD processor with the video graphics cards. For my setup, I just have nothing but AMD parts. But the AMD processor and an AMD graphics card. But that was just because I you know, I was new to PC building. But I've learned over time that you can actually use different branded stuff. So nice, nice. So the Prism cooler is still compatible with the old AMD sockets. Okay. Custom master RGB line show legacy hardware. Nice, nice. It's got me wondering if your Windows XP machine is all green. You know, to like balance out the red for this XP machine, but maybe not. GeForce driver, okay. IDs and such. GTX 970, 980, 980 Ti. That's pretty much the mid levels graphics card you can get. What nowadays? Still, that's what most people recommend, anyways, for entry level graphics card or mid level PC. But I know that the RX 570 is its equivalent, or so what the research I've done tells me, anyways. DVD writer, nice. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely read more about this, man. And paper to the G4Ts. The thing is, if you do use sandpaper, or if you could anyways, you have to use like 200 grit or something. Get something really fine. Because I think the outer shell of the graphics card is plastic. It's some sort of nylon. You use anything rougher, like anything below 150, you'll just go through the plastic and that's no good. Got a sample. Okay. This is great, man. Corsair fans? Okay, okay. Nice. Acetone, as far as I know, it won't do anything to glass. I know that much. I tried using it to clean paint off of glass and it doesn't seem to do anything. To either the paint or the glass. But I don't know if it's chemically reacted to the plastic. I'd have to check. Paint thinner work to remove it. Paint thinner is usually used on oil paint. So hopefully if it's just oil paint, then it should work. But if it's acrylic paint or latex, then what you're gonna want is something like Goo Gone, made specifically for latex paint. For acrylic paint though, that's something I don't know what you would use to get rid of that. Because I know, just like with latex paint, acrylic paint can just be washed off before it dries, but after it dries, I don't know if there's anything made for it. It bonds to the plastics. Yeah. Because the resin inside the acrylic paint would harden. And at that point, there's no real safe way to get it off besides sanding it really even. I'll leave it up to you though to make that decision, because this thing is a work of beauty, man. I like computers. I like them a lot. Yeah, let me know what you find. There's a little bit of red, definitely. Yeah. That's cool, man. It's really cool. Old school. You even got the wallpaper too. Desktop. Nice. Media center. Makes me wonder, when was Windows Movie Maker released? It's got me wondering if you can use this for video editing. I have to check. You definitely play some old school games like Minesweeper and such on it, I'm sure. If Flash was still around, you'd be able to run Flash games off of that too, but alas, we have to make do without. Anyways, I think I'm about done with this stream. I definitely stayed up way past my bedtime, but I don't regret it. It's been nice. It's been nice. I'm in a better mood now. But yeah, thanks for showing me that, dude. And yeah, keep working on it. It looks really great. Let me see if I can just finish this puzzle first, though. There's a ladder I'm supposed to climb up, but I can't remember where it is.
As you wish.
There's a ladder to the side on one of these walls. Because I
Try as I
can't break
might,
that.
I could not break that crumbling stone wall. Perhaps a warrior with the strength of Rustam might have smashed through it, but I had not strength enough in my arm, nor in my sword.
320
It's as if a
grit to remove
magic
it.
charm
Yeah, that sounds about right. If you go to any hardware stores, I think the highest I've ever seen was 220 grit. 320 sounds like something you would have to get from like an industrial place, or a place that sells a contractor equipment. I don't know, you could get lucky and find something finer than 220 grit or 200 grit in a hardware store, but I don't know where you would go to get that. Alright, so I pushed out there. There's no ladder to speak of. Let me check. This doesn't seem to be doing anything. Maybe I'm supposed to move this out of the way. might just have to look the answer up. I just don't have the patience to figure this out. I've already spent like a good hour just trying to figure it out, man. And don't get me wrong, I figured it out in the past, right? In the past playthroughs without looking up the answer, but I don't know, man. I just don't have the brain power right now to figure this out. Not there. Where would it be? They push the block into that little hole. I'm not sure what that does though. See if I have to go back. I do. Yeah. That's what I thought. A PSA to anyone that decides to play puzzle games like this one. Don't do it while you're sleep deprived. Because otherwise, what should take only 10 minutes to complete will take 50 plus minutes. Nah, but I still love this game. Okay, and then I just pushed the block over there. Cool. Nice. Right. Made it through here. And then where to next? Here, I guess. And jump over there. Yeah, sure. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for being patient with me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you have a good night, good sleep. Look forward to seeing more pictures of this project you're working on. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, man. All right, have a good night. Peace, peace. Go. I'm not fighting you guys. I'm not doing that. I literally just ran past them. Did not care. Just wanted to leave.
I think I see that glow you were talking about.
Be careful, she says. Don't jump on that bookcase, she says. Watch out for that pole you're swinging towards, she says. Oh, okay. That's panic for a second. Nice. Now I should be able to do charged attacks with this weapon. Now allow me to break down doors like this. Never mind, I'm thinking of Warrior Within. Why does this soundtrack sound so similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's jingle? Gotta drink the holy bathwater. Let the gamer girl flow through you. Oh yeah.
You do have the strength of loose Tom.
Okay, I'm definitely saving now. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream after I save.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Yes, you will. Come on. Alright. It's been a great stream. Really great. Granted, I do apologize for just moving around in circles earlier, but I genuinely was trying to figure out how to solve this area. And this is going to be one of several specific locations that have puzzles that's always stumped me when playing through this game. So, thank you for your patience. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm Psycho Metal, and see you in the next stream. Till next time. Peace.